All right, this indictment is, let me put it this way. This will hurt the Democrats far more than it will hurt Donald Trump and the Republicans. I mean, this is a fiasco. So I learned this morning that the Secret Service is going to block any arrest and handcuffs or photo op. That's not going to happen. The Secret Service has told the local authorities in New York City that they're not going to be able to extradite Donald Trump from Florida to New York and perp walk him or anything. It's not happening. So if he is charged in Manhattan, the District Attorney Alvin Bragg, if Bragg does that, and the Trump lawyers believe that Bragg will, okay, it'll be done virtually. Or it'll be done on a Zoom or something like that. Donald Trump is not coming to New York to be indicted. That's what I've learned from the Secret Service. Now, tomorrow, if he comes to New York and he's indicted, I'm going to look like a fool, but I got to tell you what I'm told. Okay, number two. This is about falsifying business records, which is a misdemeanor, all right, in the state of New York. Also, the statute of limitations on this misdemeanor, falsifying business records, is 2 years. This has been going on for 7 years. So there's no way this case even gets to a courtroom. This is all for show. Doesn't get there. Not going to happen. All right? Now, Bragg is trying to bump up the misdemeanor to a felony, something he never does. In fact, Bragg, 50% of the crimes in New York City that are felony charged, he busts them down to misdemeanors. So people won't have to serve jail time, which is why we have an insane criminality problem in New York, because of Alvin Bragg. Okay? Bragg is financed by George Soros. So keep that in mind. Far, far left guy. So according to Bragg, Trump spent money to silence Stormy Daniels and a woman named Karen McDougal, former Playmate of the Year or something, I don't even know, in some kind of personal situation. I do not know what happened. I don't really care what happened. All right? But money did change hands. And Bragg says that's a felony in New York. No. And the feds already looked at it. The Federal Election Commission looked at it, declined to prosecute, and the Justice Department did. They looked at it. Nothing. The reason being that if you pay someone to keep quiet, that's not a crime. That's not a crime. Okay, you can choose to do that. What Bragg is saying is that Trump did it so he could run for office, and he did it in a campaign context. Impossible to prove. Can't prove it. Even worse is that Hillary Clinton's campaign, and this is not whataboutism, I'm just reporting the story, okay? Hillary Clinton's campaign on March 29th, 2022, last year, was fined $113,000 by the Federal Election Commission for using campaign money, donated money, to buy the phony Steele dossier, which accused Donald Trump of Russian collusion, which the feds then said was bogus. That's 1,000 times worse than Stormy Daniels. Was Hillary Clinton prosecuted for that? No. Okay? It's a New York State resident. So it's not whataboutism. It's about our justice system. They paid the fine, and this was cute. So Clinton's campaign paid $8,000 of the $113,000. All right? The DNC paid the other $105,000. Can you imagine if Trump did that? And I bet you didn't even know that. I bet you didn't even know it. Media ignored it. That was just last year. Okay. The only other president arrested and convicted of anything was U.S. Grant. All right, this happened in 1876, And old Ulysses liked to drive his horse-drawn carriage around D.C. at the fastest speed possible. Cop pulled him over and arrested him. He was fined $20. Back then, it would have been $500 today. It's the only other president ever arrested and convicted of anything, U.S. Grant. Now, the media is hysterical about all this, but even the far-left media knows this is not going to play well for D.A. Bragg and the Democratic Party. However, they're giving it the old college try. Roll the tape.
I mean, him being indicted on, on a charge related to campaign finance, tax, and business fraud, again, doesn't have to be the end of the world for him and could potentially be a positive for him. But if he's asking for a militant, racially tinged, violent response from his followers, that's something that won't be good for him.
So that's a racial matter. Somehow this is racial now. Somehow we got into the race. I don't know how. I don't know how we did that, but racially tinged. It's so absurd. I mean, you look at it, this is like Mad Magazine. Remember Mad Magazine? This is just, how did this get into the racially tinged thing? It's just, okay. Now, the latest is that Jim Jordan and the House Republicans are now going to call Alvin Bragg to testify in front of their committees to explain why he's doing this when it's not even legal what he's doing because the statute of limitations are run out. So now Bragg is in the middle of this, and I'm telling you, it's going to turn. So if you are a Trump supporter or a Republican, this is going to hurt the Democrats. Any fair-minded American, no matter what party or ideology, knows what this is. This is a bunch of bogus garbage trying to damage Trump so that his political fortunes collapse. That's what this is. And you can make all kinds of legal arguments. I mean, Bragg himself can be sued for malicious prosecution. I don't think District Attorney Bragg is a smart man. He's destroyed the fabric of New York City's civility. One man has destroyed it. But this is beyond the pale. Now, if you have any questions, one more thing. If Donald Trump is indicted and has to go through the process, the case will be thrown out. But this assures that the House will refer criminal charges against the Biden family, perhaps the president himself. If that happens, 100%, the House will say the Biden family committed crimes. That will be the payback. Mark my words. You disagree? You have any clarity issues on this? You're confused? Bill@BillO'Reilly.com. Bill@BillO'Reilly.com.